So it's kind of interesting now to take a look out at the current landscape of the business analysis profession. I went out and looked at a few of the job descriptions, companies looking for business analysts, to see what kinds of requirements they might be putting up for people who are going to fulfill this awesome role. One of the descriptions that I ran across is for an organization looking for someone to provide business unit managers with financial and business reports and analysis, and identify and recommend opportunities and/or corrective measures to improve profitability and efficiency. I thought that was a really good definition of a junior or an entry-level business analysis or even a regular business analyst role. Then they added job duties and responsibilities. Note, duties and responsibilities may be added, deleted, or changed at the sole discretion of management at any time. This basically means you're going to be doing whatever management tells you to do. That sort of destroyed the whole idea that this was a clearly defined set of responsibilities like a BA typically would have in a larger organization. Another job description that I pulled out is help drive development, delivery, and adoption of tools within the content organization, partner with the global content team to research and identify pain points and develop them into business requirements for new tools or methods, using a consultative approach, conduct requirements gathering sessions across the organization to extract cross-vertical business rules, paying attention to mainstream as well as outliers, and collaborate with other business analysts to drive a holistic view of global content tool requirements and create synergies in methods, processes, and tools around the world. That's a set of activities I think many of you who have done business analysis can identify with. This sounds like a very clear and concrete definition of what you would be looking for as a BA. Our option 3 for a business analysis position shows you just how complicated business analysis can be, or how detailed this particular organization wants to specify their jobs. This is way too much for me to just read and dictate to you, so we're just going to leave this up for you to read yourself. Take a look at this, and what I'd like you to do while you're reading through these different bullet points up here is ask yourself, how many of those do you feel comfortable that you could fulfill? If you feel like you could do all of these things, you're probably looking at somebody who is moving toward the strategic business analyst job, because there are a lot of different things that are involved here that are actually on the fringes of what we would typically consider a BA job. If you looked at the International Institute of Business Analysis description of what the BA profession is involved with, there are several things on this list that exceed what they would be considering a business analysis responsibility. Things such as managing a clear project schedule. This is more project manager work as opposed to business analysis. Employs quality assurance and other best practices. That's moving into the testing dimension. So you can see where these business analysis jobs are expanding more and more to fill from the project manager or project leader role into the testing role. I work with organizations that are pretty much eliminating the job position of business analyst and making them fulfill both the jobs of business analysis and project testers, quality assurance managers. In the world of ATDD, actually, because getting all of the requirements right goes down to the level of creating test-driven scenarios, moving much closer into where BA, business analysis, and quality assurance are going to be rolled up into one thing. These are some ideas that are out there as far as business analysis job titles currently are concerned. What I wanted to do now is kind of put on my magic hat and gaze into my crystal ball to see what kinds of predictions I can make about the future. I'd like to qualify that. I would like to say these are not predictions, these are forecasts. I'm going to forecast some aspects of the business analysis profession, because if I'm forecasting, that kind of puts me in league with meteorologists, forecasting the weather, and as everybody knows, the weather forecast is never right. If my forecasts are wrong, I don't feel bad about it. One of the things that I think is going to be happening in our career field of business analysis is that a lot more organizations are moving towards requiring BA skills for jobs outside of the one entitled business analyst, meaning they are requiring jobs for product managers, for line managers, even for sales clerks and things like that. They're expecting them to be able to express their requirements in a manner that IT can do something with them, which is really a business analyst responsibility. Another idea that I think is going to be happening that is, for me at least, fairly clear, fairly confident, that organizations are moving more and more towards continuous delivery, or DevOps. And because of that, that is going to cause the BA responsibilities to further commingle with those of the product manager, project owner, project manager, project leader, test owners, test engineers, all of these kinds of roles. So the BA role is morphing more, if you will, to be expanded into those areas to cover a lot more areas of responsibility. I think this is a foregone conclusion that we are going to be having to increase our repertoire of techniques, of ways of doing things in order to be effective in tomorrow's world. That basically implies that more BAs are responsible for more kinds of things, which of course translates immediately into more money as our job description evolves. The business analyst job description is going to be more and more upgraded, where people that are currently doing operational business analysis and are good at it are going to be promoted more into tactical business analysis. Those doing tactical business analysis who are good at that are going to be promoted more into the strategic level. All of these things are basically leading us to where we'll probably have fewer people who actually have just the job title business analyst, but they are probably going to be higher in the food chain, which again means more money, we hope. Ultimately, whether you get the more money or not is a different question, but I do think that the job of business analysis is morphing, it is growing, it is expanding into areas that are historically taken care of by others. You might be a product manager or a product owner, project manager, or any of those roles doing business analysis and coming up with the requirements, user stories, epics, features, etc. Or you might be a business analyst looking at not just trying to get to the requirements, but making sure that you've identified all of the test scenarios, test cases, and are able to express them in Gherkin's given when then format. That's basically the presentation. At this point, I invite you very much to add points to the discussion board. If you have any questions, we will respond to them. We also appreciate any comments you might make, any good ideas you have, and by the way, if you have any good jokes to share, bring it up, put it on the board. I'd love to have it. We'd love to have your comments. We highly appreciate your participation because that's what makes this whole idea of sharing knowledge doable. Thank you very much, and I hope you have fun enjoying this presentation.